The old graveyard was still, as if time itself had stopped in this eerie place. The moon hid behind clouds, casting fleeting shadows that danced across the tombstones. Shadows stretched from the crooked tombstones, creating a maze of darkness and light. It was a spooky place where the air seemed to hum with the whispers of the past. A cold wind howled through the trees, making the branches creak like old bones. Dead leaves danced on the forgotten graves, swirling in ghostly patterns. An owl hooted, its call echoing through the night and sending shivers down your spine. The air felt heavy, filled with secrets and the weight of untold stories. You couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching you, eyes hidden in the shadows. Every rustle of leaves sounded like footsteps, each one making your heart race. You were all alone, or were you? The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional distant sound, making you question your solitude. You walked deeper into the graveyard, the air growing colder with each step. The moonlight barely pierced through the thick canopy of trees, casting eerie shadows on the ground. The path was lost to weeds and time, forgotten by the world. The overgrown vegetation seemed to reach out, trying to pull you back. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the ground itself was trying to hold you in place. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of your own footsteps. The whispers started soon after, faint at first like the rustling of leaves in the wind. You paused, straining to hear. At first, you thought it was just the wind playing tricks on your mind. But the whispers had a distinct, almost human quality to them. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to be calling out to you, beckoning you to come closer. They seemed to be coming from all around you, enveloping you in a cocoon of sound. You turned in circles, trying to pinpoint their source. You could almost make out words, fragments of sentences that sent chills down your spine. Were they calling your name? Were they trying to tell you something? A warning? A plea for help? The uncertainty gnawed at you. Your heart pounded in your chest, each beat echoing in your ears. Fear gripped you, making it hard to breathe. You had to get out of there. Panic set in and you turned to flee, your footsteps echoing through the silent graveyard as you ran. You stumbled over a root and fell. As you pushed yourself up, you saw it, a grave, clearer than the others. It seemed to glow in the darkness. You stepped closer. The name on the tombstone sent chills down your spine. It was your name. Panic surged through you. This was impossible. A cold sweat broke out on your skin. You had to get out now. Section 4. The ground moves. You turned to run, but something stopped you. The ground felt strange. It was soft and yielding beneath your feet. You looked down. The earth was moving. Slowly, something began to push up from the grave beneath you. Terror froze you in place. Your scream died in your throat. There was no escape. Section 5. Don't look back. Some kicked, scrambling away from the grave. Whatever it was, it had a grip like iron. You glanced back. A rotting hand emerged from the ground, reaching for you. Its skeletal fingers were bone white in the moonlight. You couldn't look anymore. You ran faster than you ever had before. The whispers followed you, urging you on. Section 6. A chilling revelation. You burst out of the graveyard, gasping for breath. The cold air stung your lungs as you ran, your heart pounding in your chest. The shadows seemed to reach out, trying to pull you back into the darkness. The first rays of dawn were breaking through the darkness, casting an eerie glow over the gravestones. The night had been long and terrifying, but the light brought a small sense of relief. You were safe, for now. You leaned against a tree, catching your breath, your mind racing with the events of the night. You never looked back, afraid of what you might see if you did. You never went near the graveyard again. The memories of that night haunted you, the fear and the cold seeping into your bones. But you never forgot the terror of that night. The faces, the whispers, the feeling of being watched. It was all too real, too vivid to be just a nightmare. And you realized something even more terrifying. You were already dead. The realization hit you like a cold wave, your reflection in the mirror showing a face that no longer belonged to the living. The inscription on the grave had your name and today's date. It was undeniable, the final piece of the puzzle that confirmed your worst fears. The graveyard was where you belonged. It was your final resting place, the place you had tried so desperately to escape from. But in the end, there was no escaping the truth.